Really pleased with the win. We won a close game, which we haven't done this year in league play. 4 of our 5 losses are single possession games or right at the end. So finding a way with everything going against us to win was really good. We executed out of a timeout of play that we had just drew up, and with guys that had never played. And everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do, and it resulted into an and one. That was very pleasing for the coach to see. That was improvement, something that we haven't done. And then Nick Daniels made 3 outstanding plays down the stretch that we have not been making. And one was he was in trouble and he actually called a timeout, where on Friday night he was in trouble and we threw it away for a layup down 2. So he learned. He shot the ball extremely well from the free throw line, which he's been struggling with. It was 9 for 9. And late in the game, another play, we wanted the ball in Kendrick's hands, and they were denying Kendrick, and Nick was able to get it to him. So that's the type of things that a coach likes to see, the improvement, that when we get into March and we're in a close game, that we shore those things up, we'll have a real chance to win. The one thing that still is irritating to me is that we are a great free throw shooting team, one of the best in the country, and we continue not to make free throws in late game. And we have to be able to make late game free throws. The other night we were 24 of 30 from the free throw line. That's 80%, which is, if you shot 80% on the season, you would lead the nation in free throw percentage. But we missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s and 2 technical fouls in the clutch. So 4 of the 6 misses cost us 6 points. And that was the difference in the game. So we got to shore that up too, even though we are a really good free throw shooter. You look at this tonight and you say, okay, we shot 76%, that's really good, except we split free throws in the last 4 minutes of the game. We can't do that. So good things happened today. We needed a win, we got one.
Questions for student athletes first?
So Stan, getting put into the fire like that in the starting role, you played about as clean of a first 4 minutes as any point guard at any level can play. What was that like for you going through that first 4 minutes of action?
There was a lot of pressure at first, but I kind of broke that and just, had my confidence and just did what I had to do.
Kendrick, how much did you have to help him, or was he? How confident were you that he didn't need maybe that much help, and that he was okay to start at the 1 and get the job done?
Yeah, we prepared him. He prepared well. I mean, he's ready for the moment. He worked hard, and we talked to him before the game to loosen him up, get the butterflies out of him. We just told him to go out there and play. He did well.
Kendrick, with the injury situation, a lot of guys in your role as a scorer sometimes maybe will press a little bit, knowing that they have to do a lot. You probably did your best game this year in terms of letting the game come to you. Is that something that you were conscious of, or is that just the way the game flowed?
I disagree with that, Neil. Sorry to call you out, but I think that's completely false, letting the game come to him. He lets the game come to him every game. He's a great player, and he's doing what I want him to do. So I don't like that idea
Well,
at all.
the point of the question was you didn't press. I mean, the different way that I wanted to say it, I guess I could say, Coach, is you didn't press when maybe there was more reason to than there would have been in the past.
Yeah, I was definitely more conscious of that. I mean, letting the game slow down. The guys are playing me different now. I realized that they running too at me, just slowing down and letting the game come to me.
Stan, what about the block shots and your ability to kind of go down by the rim sometimes to help your teammates out? Where does that confidence come from that you can do that?
I'm just, athletic and gifted to do that. So, I just find other ways to score or, get baskets.
Kendrick, it's February, and at the end of this month is when you guys start to peak towards tournament play and stuff. I know we talked about game by game, play by play, day by day, but are you guys starting to feel after Friday's disappointment, today's close win, that you guys are starting to put the pieces more together as you guys continue to go?
Yeah, we strive to do that every day. Just continue to get better, and around this time we're going to play our best basketball going into March, February.
Any more questions? All right, thanks, guys. Questions for Coach?
Greg, the out of bounds play, you have Nick come and take the timeout with 8 on the shot clock. That execution was great. I mean,
And that's been what I've said for 2 years with this group, is that we've really struggled to take from a timeout to the floor. And it was really good to see that we could do that. We were in trouble. I mean, we were in real trouble. The momentum and everything had swung the other way. When Jalen went out of the game, they threw a couple shots in. The calls were going against us. And I'm not saying they were bad calls, and that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying everything seemed to be going against us. The lead had shrunk. We've lost a bunch of close games. It would have been really easy for us to have excuses. And we executed, and that I believe that execution won that game for us. The other thing that we executed after that possession was we have a special late game zone with Palmer out on top, or it would have been Isaiah if he would have played, with length out there. And we made them take, there was still 50-some seconds to go. We made them take 20 seconds off the clock before they scored. It was a tough 2. And we executed that possession of defense perfectly. And that essentially, even though they scored, it ended the game. You know, they called timeout, we got it in, executed that, our little football action there, and Kendrick made a free throw. I wish he would have made both. But so there were 3 things in a row that we executed, and that's how you win close games, and that's been our Achilles heel. So I'm really pleased with that.
What does Stan Scott change for you defensively from that point guard spot?
Well, Stan's not very good defensively. I mean, that's one of my. He's a raw athlete. What Stan needed during the course of this year was minutes. And what happened with his clearinghouse issues, I couldn't get him those minutes early in the year. He couldn't play in the exhibition games. He couldn't play until like the 2nd or 3rd game of the year. And so he missed that window of opportunity to get minutes. He needs to be able to go out and make mistakes. Well, he got put in a position tonight that it didn't matter. I didn't have anybody else. So he was able to make mistakes and play, and his defensively he's not real good. Now, I think that by the time he's out of here, he could be an unbelievable defensive player. He's got all the tools. He played in a league in high school where he could just run around and take the ball from people, or let you drive to the basket and then block your shot. I mean, he just could do whatever he wanted on the court defensively, because, I mean, he's better athletically than anybody in this league probably. Imagine with a bunch of little suburban kids running around in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, what he looked like on the court. So you get bad habits when you can steal, and so he tries to do that here, and he gets torched in practice. You've watched practices, you know. His jump shots got a lot to be desired, and one of the things that hurt us late game is they weren't guarding him. But that stuff will all improve with time and minutes, and he needed those. Well, I got a senior group with high expectations, and I couldn't get him those minutes. So the best thing that could happen for him is what's happened now. You know, he has to play. And so I told him before the game, if you make mistakes, no big deal. I mean, we tried to run 3 plays that he had no clue what they were, all right? And I don't know if you saw the bench. I don't know if you saw the bench laughing, and maybe this is sick on my part, but, I yelled out Detroit just to see what he would do. We don't have a play called Detroit. I just yelled it out to see if he'd look over at me, and so I go, Detroit? He's going, yeah. And everybody's laughing because we don't have a play called Detroit. And that's just, I got to throw him in the fire now. And I thought he had a tremendous first pass at it. The reason I've always wanted to play him is because one of our weaknesses is rebounding, and from the point guard position, he can really rebound. He could really help us. But he can't help us if he doesn't know the sets and the plays, and he's going to make freshman mistakes, and you don't want that at this time of the year. But we're stuck with that now.
A couple minutes in the second half, you went on some droughts offensively. Is it partially the personnel issues you had with some guys being out, and then
Jalen was out too.
Yeah, Jalen out too. Is that kind of some of the issues? And if you run into that again, what will you maybe look to do differently?
Isaiah Brock, James Beck, Brad Brechting, Javen Cumberland, Xavier, Braylon Neely. That's 6 guys that would be either starters or immediate substitutes. that weren't there to play. I think it's amazing we won. Droughts are no droughts. Jalen Hayes goes out of the game with what, 8 minutes to go. Tom Cotter, a walk-on, 16 minutes. Late in the game, I went with Chris Gilbert. We put all our best free throw shooters in there. He hasn't shot a free throw in his career. But I deemed him as one of our best free throw shooters. And he hasn't. I mean, we were in a position that we had to do what we had to do. We're going to have droughts. I think it's amazing that we won the game. I think it's amazing that we held on. It's not amazing that we won because we had the lead, but then Jalen goes out and everything's against us and we won. I think that's a watershed moment in this season. And I am so proud of the kids that played and what they did. That, you know, I mean, I'm not usually a guy that smiles and laughs on the sidelines, but I was hugging Nick, and, you know, because you think it's tough on the fans, imagine what it's like on them. And this was a really, really good day for us, really good. Sorry for jumping on you, Neil, but Kendrick Nunn's doing everything I want him to do. If he goes 3 for 45, I'm good with that. And I don't care if anybody else isn't, I am. And you wanna know something? I'm the only guy that matters, okay, when it comes to how we play. So, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Kendrick Nunn is playing great basketball for us. People forget Travis Bader had a lot of 1 for 11 days too. And he's the greatest of all time. And, you know, we forget that when it's all over. And so, who doesn't? Steph Curry has 1 for 11 nights. I mean, what Kendrick Nunn has done and the level of his competition and how he's played for us this year is off the charts. And so he has 2 bad games in a row. And he was 2 for 6 tonight. I mean, we were 3 for 15. Oh, Oakland can't win if you can't make threes, right? Oh, we were 3 for 15, we won. So I'm a realist, and I know that he's going to have those nights. He's still shooting over 40% from the 3. That's very difficult to do with guys hanging on you. Well, why do you want guys hanging? Because he's that great, okay? And we didn't lose Friday night because Kendrick Nunn was 3 for 22. We lost because we missed free throws.
You said watershed moment of the season. Are you starting to see the pieces coming together as a handful of games in conference play before the tournament left? Are you starting to be more optimistic, I guess, to see? Because if this is a big moment for your guys down the stretch to win a close game, you got to be at least seeing the total picture become a little more focused.
I'm not real good at seeing pictures. All I saw was tonight, and now we got to get ready for Detroit. And I know that sounds like Belichick, but it's true. I mean, I can't think about March now. I can't. That's giving up on the kids and saying, "Oh, well, we're okay. Let's wait till March." No, we got to play Detroit Friday night. We got to have our best effort. We got to continue to get better. And now we really got to get better because we got people out. And Stan Scott's got to, you know, Palmer, those guys have got to get minutes and learn and practice. Hard to do that when you can't practice. All right. I mean, I got 2 great graduate assistant players, and they're not allowed to practice because of NCAA rules. So we're going to try and practice with 7 guys. How are you going to get better? Those are the cards we've been dealt, okay? We're not the first team that's ever been dealt those cards. First time ever here for us, but we're not the first team. So we just got to figure it out, and we got to get ready for Friday. And when Friday's over, we got to get ready for the following Wednesday. And then when it's all said and done, we look back and figure out what we do. We don't even know who we play in March. So, you know, and if I sit there and talk about March to the team, I'm doing them a disservice. We got what, 7 or 6 left? Some number like that?
6 now. 6 now.
We got 6 left. All right, one at a time, take them. We could go into that tournament with 7 straight wins. We went in with 9 straight wins last year. That didn't help us.
Since the camera's rolling, Coach, who you like in the Super Bowl tonight?
Oh, I got the Patriots, man. Why wouldn't you? You know, I hear all these people saying, oh, we're bored with it now. In our lives, we're seeing something that'll never happen again, right? Why wouldn't you be cheering for that? Brady's a Michigan guy. Why would anybody in this state who thinks they're a Michigan sports fan, whether you're a state fan or a Michigan fan, the kid's a Michigan born, not born, but Michigan bred. Why wouldn't we want him to win? Why wouldn't we want him to be the greatest of all time, to set records nobody else can set? I've been fortunate in my life. I'm old, but I got to see the Celtics That'll never happen again. I got to see UCLA. That'll never happen again. And we're getting to see this in pro football. That'll never happen again. So we get to see it. Why wouldn't we cheer for it?
Any more questions?
Any other lectures anybody would like?
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry.